Under the Spotlight with Donna Darwish.
All right, so we're officially at my favorite part of the week because every Wednesday we bring in someone we believe is talented, someone that is making moves, and today we have someone that I'm really excited to get the chance to sit down with. So today we have Ayman Arandi. Hi, Ayman.
Hi.
I'm really excited you're here. We're going to try to can you say something into the microphone?
Of course. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy you're here. And I already know a little bit about you. But can you tell us a little bit?
Of course. Well, let me start by saying thank you for having me here. I'm really excited also to be with you here on the show and to meet you in person at last. So my name is Ayman Arandi, and I do believe that the objective of life is to reach one's potential. And the best way to do that is through creating a better life for yourself and for your community. So I was born in Nablus. I'm from Palestine.
Woo.
And I studied engineering, continued also studying in management, and I started my business around 8 years ago in interactive technology.
Interactive technology, that's a big word. Personally, until I was forced to research more about what you do, I did not know a lot about it. But you did mention that what led you to be where you are is the fact that you're an engineer, you like lights, and you like music, which is some of my favorite things. So can you tell us a little bit about that? What is interactive technology?
Interactive sensory technology, or there is a couple of different names like sensory environments, assistive technology. It's all about creating an environment that would help in order to provide the right state of mind to do whatever you want to do. In simple terms, think of your own bedroom. If you have a candle and you play some music that you enjoy, that already puts you in a calm ease and ease. Same if you go to a club, or that environment will put you in a state where you want to jump, you want to move, you want to socialize. So the impact of environment on each one is quite big. And if we can control it, using technology, we can utilize this in order to do education purposes, rehabilitation purposes, or simply meditation.
And I feel like that's kind of the direction that you went for, correct? Because I know that you are the co-founder of Iris Solutions. Mm-hmm. So what is Iris Solutions?
Iris Solution is a Palestinian company with an objective and a mission to provide a better quality of life through interactive technology. That's the bold, big words. But what we try to do is simply provide a safe space in schools, rehabilitation centers, nurseries, kindergartens, so simply education institutions that can help children to excel and help them to feel safe and feel in their zone, so education or rehabilitation can happen faster.
Absolutely brilliant. And I think that if there was a people that really needed something like this, I really feel like it's us Palestinians. So obviously I'm from Palestinian origins, but also just the fact that you're focusing on kids that are in school that really might need to have this break in their day, where they can just be immersed in this experience. Because when I saw the videos, it does look quite immersive, and the kids look like they're having the time of their life. But also, I'm sure it's not easy for you to predict what kids would like. I have a niece and a nephew, and I do things that I think they would absolutely love. And then they just look at me like, you're old and you have no idea what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So how did you find that balance? How did you figure it out?
Okay, very valid points regarding that each individual, whether a child or an adult, have a different preference. So just to go a little bit technical about these rooms or sensory environments, it's a combination of lights, different colors, music, sounds like rain or thunder or forest or birds, and then you can mix and control all these elements together in order to create an experience that you would feel good in. And the trick we started 5 years ago, our very first user or client was a child on the spectrum of autism. And for children with autism, they're usually either hypo or hypersensitive to all the environment inputs around them. And by giving the child or the guardian of the child the ability to control all these elements around them, it's a very empowering feeling. Plus, it helps to find the right zone or to feel calm within them, so communication and rehabilitation can happen in a faster pace. So we did that for around 2 years, working with rehabilitation centers focusing on children with autism. Then we started opening up for more users and more segments, like different stress-related conditions, developmental conditions. Then we went out and went for schools, nurseries, kindergartens, and different, just children going through normal developmental stages. And every time we go to a center or a school, we know and we enjoy that even the teachers and the specialists, they do enjoy such environment in their facilities.
Absolutely brilliant. So what you just said made me just think of 20 million questions, but I'm going to try to focus. So we're going to play a song, and then after that I want to know about the very first time that you kind of pitched your idea to someone, because I feel like right now someone in their car might have a great idea, but not everyone always knows how to run with it, right? And I'm sure that you have the ability to do that, since now you are more widespread and you've kind of made it like you don't just have one client anymore, and you've been featured on so many different media outlets, which means you're doing something right. So I really want to know about how it actually started. How did you get that first person to have faith in you? But right after this. This is Higher on Play.
Oh, the wind has been singing me a symphony, the sweetest sound that I've ever heard. Feels amazing the way that it's been lifting me. I'm free up here as high as a bird. A moment, no, you don't need to cry for me. I can't wait to get where I'm going. You know that I'd love to stay, but I'm already on my way. My love's taking me higher, higher, higher. Look up, you'll see me higher, higher, higher. And I know I'm getting close now. I can hear the choir.
Forever by Ali Brooke on Play 99.5, Jordan's #1 hit music station. So today we're super lucky because we get the chance to sit down with Ayman Arandi. So hi again, Ayman.
Hello, hello.
All right, so I was asking you, what really happened? How did you take your first steps? Because I feel like so many people have great ideas, but not so many people actually have the ability to go through with them. So how did you make that happen?
Well, I think taking an idea into the market takes a lot of effort and takes a team and knowledge. These are three things that one needs to make sure to think about and go through. It's not enough to have a good idea. Good ideas are usually easy. Execution is the hard part, and this is where usually people would feel, okay, something is not, maybe it's the market, maybe it's people don't like the way I'm putting the idea, but it's usually team, experience and knowledge.
All right, so how you said your team was actually your friends.
Right.
So you were lucky with that.
Super lucky with that.
But also, don't you feel like we play a part in who we surround ourselves with?
Of course, and I do believe, we're the average of the 5 closest people to us. So it's always important to notice who are the people around, where do you get your feedback from, having this feedback channel always open. And it's back to the point of having friends as partners. It has its cons and it has its pros, of course. And if it's utilized right, it allows for a lot of free and safe space to navigate around the team and the co-workers.
All right, so walk me through the process. So you or your friends had the idea and you were like, all right, let's create this environment. And then what did you do?
Well, I'll tell you a funny thing. We started with totally different idea. When we started, we wanted to establish Iris Solutions, and that's what we did for 2 years. We were thinking, or we were doing, is creating touchscreens. We were thinking that we can compete as a company to provide touchscreens. At that time, it was, I think, 2012. It was still a new idea, and we tried to push it to the market. Then we realized we cannot compete with big factories, and so while going through this process, we started learning more and more about interactive technology. We get an experience of building softwares for the touchscreens, building how to do user experience and user interface, and we simply got the passion and the knowledge in order to combine these and fit into a need within the market that we spot. And just to clarify, sensory environment is a concept that has been there since the 70s, so it's not something we've came up with, and the effect of environment on the people has been always there and studied in different fields of science. But what we wanted to do is to come up with a technology that we can do locally, provide the need also in the local market, and hoping to be able to compete with it and go and take it beyond Palestine, hoping to provide a global, a world level standard that's affordable, easy to install, that can fit the need of the market here in Palestine and in the Middle East, inshallah, globally.
Brilliant. All right, so you also mentioned something about users or individuals that are on the autism spectrum. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the entire concept of autism being a spectrum is something that has only kind of like fully surfaced and people started really getting the idea of maybe in the past 10 years, right? And until then, people that they might have been on the end of the spectrum. If they were diagnosed with autism, I feel like it affected their life so much, because even if you had a touch of autism, I know it's not a very medical way of explaining it, but again, it is in different levels. You would have to go to a different school and you would have to be treated differently. And I feel like so many times that would have a negative impact on the child just because it's not the same. Again, the spectrum is really wide, right? And what was your first experience when you were working with a child with autism? How did you feel like they accepted the idea? Were they excited? Were they disappointed? What happened?
Well, the thing is that autism is one of these unique conditions that some science define it as a developmental condition, some others which is a bit outdated now, behavioral condition. But what's unique about it is that the child or the person is living in their own world. And in simple terms, and I'm not, just to clarify, I'm not the one who's usually doing the research. I'm the product designer. We have a team of specialists who have been working with us, and greetings to them, who do all the research and the validation and making sure that we're doing what we're doing in the right way. But the thing is that because they're hypersensitive to the environment to them, they're one of the users who can benefit so much from such environment. Yet, at the same time, we, as I mentioned, we kept opening this user base more and more to take children or people with developmental and stress-related conditions, and I can give some examples about that. But going back to your question, at the very beginning, I'll have to be honest, I was personally, and the team still was not sure what we were doing. Even when we did our very first sensory room, it took us so much time. We were not sure exactly what we're coming up with. But then when we saw the impact on the children in the center, in Jenin, it was in Qabatia, we were astonished. We learned that it's changing the way how the whole center is operating. It's giving this space, it's improving the quality of life for the children there. And that pushed us forward to say, okay, here is a challenge, here's a problem, we know something, let's focus more and try to learn and start doing validation about that in order to make it work. And every once in a while, we hear a story from a father or from a mother that always inspires us to move forward. And that's the best thing of doing a social business, that's making money and at the same time improving the life of people.
I think that is, first of all, super sweet. Second of all, you just mentioned something, maybe not exactly, but something I have been talking to my friends about for a while, and that's the all or nothing mindset. So a lot of the time, what I figured out is when I was younger, I always thought when I grow up, I'm going to be like those grown-ups that know what they're doing. Right? And I feel like so many people feel that way. They feel like other people know what they're doing, but for some reason, they are the ones that don't know. But then you grow up and you realize nobody knows what they're doing. Absolutely nobody does. But that doesn't mean that if you have something you're passionate about, you shouldn't run with it. So I think it's very courageous that you actually said, well, we were kind of just trying to figure it out at first, because not so many people would say something like that. They would be like, yes, I woke up and I had this vision about a sensory room. So thank you for that. I think that's really inspiring. All right. So I have another question. You mentioned feedback from parents. Do you have like any kind of, I don't want a specific story, I don't want to put you on the spot, even though this is literally called Under the Spotlight. But again, I feel like from my knowledge of kids with autism, it is extremely difficult to break through to them. And I can only imagine if a parent had a moment with their child where they saw them interacting with their environment and they were really excited about it. Doesn't that fuel you to want to do more?
Yes, of course. Before going into that, one thing to clarify. Being inside a sensory environment does not improve the condition of a child with autism or whatever condition. It's just simply provide the right environment to do either the education or the rehabilitation. And yeah, I can name a lot of examples, yet I can also, what I know is that it's connected directly to the specialist or the teacher who is using the tool itself. Because sensory technology, which is basically technology, is a tool. It's just amplifies the skills or the abilities of the guardian or the teacher in order to communicate, in order to get to what they want. And I remember one of the very first examples, but I don't want to keep the conversation only within the field of autism, because that's one of many people we work with, is I do remember a child who was playing with one of our solutions called the interactive floor, and they were trying to mumble the word water. And I remember that we were just installing the system. It's not still in active or delivered even to the center, but sometimes kids just run inside the room, and she loved it. She kept running around, she kept pressing on the floor. It's like an interactive projection. And she started saying like a word, and her father was standing and looking at that. And when I saw the look at her father, that she's interacting and focusing in doing one activity or one action, that really made us all feel with purpose. It really felt great, and always pushes us to do better.
All right, so you mentioned that people with autism aren't the only people you can help. So there is a wide range of people. And honestly, the way you explained it, I feel like everyone needs a little bit of sensory technology, just because it can be embedded into homes, offices, the way that we'll futuristically start living our life. So can you tell us a little bit about that? But first, we have a song. This is Again and Again on Play.
Again and again.
Again and again on the Drive Back Show on Play. All right, so we're chatting to Ayman Arandi. Ayman is the co-founder and the executive director of Iris Solutions. So Ayman, you mentioned that your product happens to help a wide range of people. We've already mentioned people with autism. So who else can benefit?
Well, again, as I mentioned, we offer this service and these products to schools, kindergartens, nurseries, hospitals, and rehabilitation centers. And for example, right now we're working with the Ministry of Education and in Palestine and Save the Children in order to install these rooms across elementary schools to have inclusive education, to help in inclusive education. Especially, we also work with children, or we provide these rooms for children with learning difficulties. At the same time, such technology is not limited only for children with difficulties. Anyone can enjoy a sensory environment. And to say something, the best sensory environment you can think of is simply nature. Anyone would enjoy nature. Just being out there and just being able to have space. It does affect our mental health. It does affect our well-being. It does affect the way we think. So this technology is trying to compensate. It do not replace what is the best sensory environment, which is the environment, the nature itself. So for example, we worked with the largest public hospital in Palestine, in Hebron, where we installed a room for children with severe skin burns who they have to stay in a hospital for 4 weeks or 6 weeks instead of they would stay in a normal hospital or traditional hospital room. They have this access to, even for half an hour a day or a couple of hours a week, in order to recharge, and that does really help in their rehabilitation and coming back. And I know that we're only scratching the surface here. We're still focusing on education and rehabilitation, but we do believe in the next 10 years, every educational and every rehabilitative institution will have some sort of a sensory environment. And it will come to hotels, it will come to airports, it will come to spas, private businesses, banks, telecoms. I do believe that people are getting more and more aware of the importance of the well-being and the mental state, and they would, with our hectic way of life, we all need a rest, even for 10 minutes or 15 minutes during the day.
I absolutely agree. And I feel like it's also very fortunate that we live in a time when people are actually putting their mental health as a priority. And I feel like as we progress and we start realizing how important mental health is, because listen, it's not easy out here trying to make a living. You know, you work long hours. You're usually a little tired by the time you get home. Some people go to work before the sun rises and they come back when the sun is set, and they go like almost an entire winter without getting like proper nice sunny day during the week. And I feel like having something like that would be such a nice relief, especially for people that are living in a little bit of stress. And we know it's not easy for everyone to just have that peace of mind. So if you do have a place where you can escape, it's absolutely brilliant. Also, when are you guys coming to Jordan, or are you already in Jordan?
Well, yes, that's the news. We're starting to offer our services and products in Jordan starting off from this week.
That's exciting. Perfect timing for you to be here.
Thank you, and we're so happy. We've done already a successful pilot last year in Jordan. And we're aiming to expand and to create a hub for our products and services. Especially, we understand there is a difference between Palestine and Jordan in terms of different aspects, and we love what we're seeing in Jordan, and we believe we can learn a lot from different schools, from different philosophy of education and rehabilitation. Especially the rehabilitation sector is bit more advanced than what we have in Palestine. So I'm super excited about this.
We're super excited as well. All right, so you talk about your team with so much passion. Honestly, I feel like if I were to work somewhere, I would want someone to talk about me as their team with that much passion. So how do you find that balance between being around people that you consider your friends and people you absolutely love, but also getting together and getting work done?
I do believe in order to build anything, I wouldn't say even great, if you want to start by building something good, you need a team. You cannot do something by your own. And to build great things, then you need a tribe. You need people who believe in the same vision, who have aligned values, who would work in order to deliver and do that. And it's always easier to work with people with the same frequency, with the same values. And when I look at not only our region, if we look at the whole Middle East, I think one of the big challenges we have is the inability to work in a team, and that's what's stopping us from achieving a lot of great things. So in order to build a successful business or even a successful football team like in the Filhara, you need to believe and understand that it's a joint effort. So it's all in one working together. And I'm so lucky with my team. And greetings to them, salamat to them. This would not have happened without all the efforts of us together.
All right. So, first of all, I think there is a saying about what you just said. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah, I love that.
Which brings me to my next question. If you could talk to 15 and 16-year-old Ayman, what would your words of wisdom be?
Okay, words of wisdom. I would definitely say to chill out. I remember, like, at that age, one would think that you know everything, and then you suddenly understand that the more you know, the less you know, and that's one. So understanding that constant learning is a very essential element in doing anything or achieving anything in life, and I'm still always reminding myself about that. Second is to listen more. I'm more on the talkative side, and I've been training myself all the time just to listen more and try to observe. And third is to be calmer. You know, I feel I get worried sometimes about career. I get worried about health, about family, about friends. And then you realize when you sit for a moment, it's inshallah, yani, it will go fine. Everything will go through. I think these are pretty three good things. If I got it when I was younger, my life would have been better.
All right, so Ayman, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today. So where can we find you? We're obviously going to have everything tagged on our social media. So if you want to find Ayman on Instagram, we're also going to have Iris Solutions tagged. So if you want to check them out, you can do that on our Instagram. But other than Instagram, how can we find you?
You can visit our website. It's iris, iris.ps, so iris.ps. You can check our Facebook page, which is also Iris Interactive Solutions. You can check our Sensory Box Facebook page, which is As-Sunduq Al-Hissi, the Sensory Box. You can call. I'm sure all the contact of Iris Solution is online. You simply type Sensory Room, غرفة حسية, بيئة حسية, Palestine. You would definitely get that. Also, you can come and visit us. We just got an office at the business park. Greetings to my colleague Hamza at Mind Lab. So we will be there. We look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely brilliant. And I know you're destined for great things, and we'll be keeping our eyes on you until you get there. All right, so we will be back with the music. Thank you again, Ayman, for stopping by. Of course, we will keep our eyes and ears, since we're a radio station, so it makes sense, on you all the time.
Join us next Wednesday and meet yet another guest put under the spotlight with Donna Darwish. Only on Play 99.5. Jordan's #1 hit music station. You know what completes the perfect meal?
What?
The perfect dessert. Buffalo Wings and Rings are here to make your day.